Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful idea. What if your entire financial life, everything you have and everything you don't, isn't about your job or the economy? What if it's all being decided by a hidden war happening inside your own head? So let's just start with this question right out of the gate. Seriously, what if all the stress, all the struggle, has absolutely nothing to do with the external world? What if it's all coming from an invisible script that's been running your life without your permission? And that brings us to the heart of the matter, this unseen enemy within. We're not talking about bad luck or a tough market. We're talking about a conflict deep inside you, a battle between the wealth you consciously say you want and what your subconscious mind has been programmed to believe you deserve. You see, your subconscious mind is kind of like the silent, powerful engine of your life. It doesn't really care about logic or fairness. It just builds your reality based on the blueprints you give it. And those blueprints, they're made of repetition, strong feelings, and your deepest beliefs. I love this because if your subconscious could actually talk, this is exactly what it would say. I don't care about your New Year's resolutions or your wishful thinking. I only follow the commands you truly, deeply believe to be true. It's your beliefs, not your wants, that are on autopilot. So, you might be asking, where in the world did I get these beliefs? Well, that's where things get really interesting. Let's talk about your financial programming and how it all got started. This fertile soil analogy is just perfect. When you were a kid, your mind was wide open. Every single thing you heard about money, we can't afford that, money is the root of all evil, rich people are greedy, all of that was planted directly into your subconscious with zero filter. And that whole collection of ideas and habits, well, that forms what's called a paradigm. Think of it as your financial autopilot. It's the program that's running in the background, controlling how you think and feel about money before you even have a conscious thought. Now here's the kicker. Your paradigm's number one job is to keep you safe by keeping things the same. So when you try to change your financial habits, it feels like you're hitting a wall, right? That's not a lack of willpower. That's your subconscious literally fighting you to stay in its comfort zone, even if that comfort zone is being broke. Okay, so if we're basically fighting ourselves, how do we ever win? Well, the idea here is to stop fighting and start attracting. It's about understanding that your thoughts and feelings are putting out a kind of energy or a vibration that draws your reality to you. The core concept is simple. You can't be tuned to the frequency of lack and expect to hear the music of abundance. You can't feel like a victim all day and then expect to see opportunities. Energy responds to like energy. When you're constantly feeling worried and scarce, you literally become blind to the possibilities that are right in front of you. And you can really see this difference in action. A poor mindset chases money. It says, I can't afford that, which is a dead end. It shuts the brain down. But a wealthy mindset sees money as a result of providing value. It asks a totally different question. How can I afford that? And that one simple question, it opens up at everything. It's the spark for creativity, for new businesses, for solving problems. This quote just nails it. The money in your bank account today, it's just an echo of the thoughts and feelings you were consistently having weeks, months, or even years ago. If you want to change the reflection in the mirror, you have to change the person standing in front of it. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a little abstract, but it's not. The source material points to some serious heavy hitters from history who lived by these principles. Let's look at some of these masters of the subconscious. First up, Thomas Edison. We all know he invented the light bulb, but just look at this number. Over 10,000 failed experiments. Can you imagine the level of persistence that takes? Most of us give up after, 3 tries? But here's the real magic. Look at his mindset. He didn't even see it as failure. In his mind, success was absolutely inevitable. It was a done deal. So every failure was just him crossing another possibility off the list. His subconscious was so locked onto the goal that the concept of quitting literally didn't compute. And then you have Andrew Carnegie. The guy started with nothing. He was a poor immigrant who became one of the richest people in modern history. And his secret weapon? He believed with every fiber of his being that an idea was more valuable than a bank full of cash. For him, thought was capital. And this quote from Carnegie himself just lays it all out. He understood that if you hold an idea in your mind with enough focus and belief, it has to become real. It's like a law of nature. The universe will start organizing itself to make it happen. That's the core belief that drives every great entrepreneur. Okay, so this is all great for historical figures. But what about us? How do we actually do this? Well, let's get into this step-by-step process for what is essentially rewriting your own inner code. All right, let's break this down. First, you have to identify the junk programming. Get real with yourself. What did you learn about money? Second, replace it. Write a new command, a new belief, in the present tense as if it's already true. Third, and this is crucial, repeat it every single day with feeling. You have to feel the excitement, the gratitude. Fourth, visualize it. Close your eyes and see your new reality. And finally, number 5, and this is the one that gets everybody, you have to detach from how it's going to happen. You stop stressing about the specific path, and you just trust that by changing your mind, the path will appear. And remember, you can't just do this for a weekend. You are literally overwriting decades of old programming. Your subconscious doesn't listen to a good argument. It listens to relentless emotional repetition. You just keep telling the new story over and over again until it becomes more real than the old one. So what does one of these new commands actually sound like? Well, here's a classic example. Notice how it's phrased. I am, that's present tense, happy and grateful, that's the emotion. And it's specific about what you want, money coming from multiple sources continuously. That's the kind of language your subconscious can really latch on to. But listen, there's a really serious warning that comes with all of this. It's simple. If you are not actively, consciously programming your own mind for success and abundance, then the world is programming it for you. The news, social media, advertising, they're all feeding it a diet of fear, lack, and mediocrity. And that brings us to the ultimate shift in thinking. You have to move from feeling like a victim of your financial situation to realizing, deep down, that you are the creator of it. Why? Because you are the programmer of the mind that is creating your results. So, in the end, it all comes down to this one question. Now that you know how it works, now that you see the game, what are you going to do? Will you finally take the controls and program your mind for the life you want? Or will you just let the old programming keep running the show? The choice is, and always has been, yours.